Hello, friends. Welcome to another day of your Superpower presence. Today's topic is interconnection. And I really like that word interconnection even more than connection. Connection is a sweetness, right? But there's an I-thou quality to it. Interconnection provides an I-thou quality, but it's within a universal unity container, because we are interconnected. It's like giving witness to something that exists as greater or subsuming or holding the I thou. And I'm going to explore it in an interesting way today. I want to preface it by saying you do not have to believe in past lives. And in fact, until I had a transit and natal chart reading when I was 40 years old, I didn't have any verdict on past lives either way. I wasn't for or against, believe or not believe. I just didn't have any particular awakened connection until I was 40. And a painful memory that I never knew where it came from was washed away in light of a transmission that happened through the one that was reading my charts. And then I knew that my interconnectedness as an individual, as Kimberly Braun, spanned past, present, and future in ways that I still am exploring. And my own development is not anchored in past life. I'm not always doing regressions. That's not always the way I look at life. Oh, was I living here before? That can be fun, and some really like that, but that's not my particular interest. I really like the realms that aren't just in this material world, even more than this earthly plane. However, over and again, there have been instances of awareness on very deep levels of an interconnectedness, of being in different time periods, in different eras of human history. And right now, I am on the island of Santorini. I'm going to do a little panoramic. I'm hoping that you can see it. It's overcast today. It was very sunny yesterday, and you could see the ocean. You can't see it as clearly with this view, but you can get a little bit of a sense of it. It's remarkably beautiful. I am in a small village called Akrotiri in the southern part, so I'm not in the more touristy parts of Fiera and a few of the other northern cities where a lot more people go. I wanted to come here for one reason, and that was something quite profound that happened for me back in 2004 or 5, and then again 2 years ago or 3 years ago. And that was the experience that I was a spiritual leader in the period of civilization that is considered Atlantean time, which we're really assimilating to be the existence of Minoan civilization. That's where the correlation seems when you look at archaeology and combine it with myth and look at possibilities with that. And this Minoan civilization was believed to have been anchored in these islands of Greece, Crete being a main one, but then outlying communities in Santorini and a number of other places. And this dates back to 3700 BC. Now, the Santorini community was said to have lived here from 2000 to about 1630 BC and were wiped out when a volcano erupted and literally covered the entire city. Now, there is, if you look at the volcanic plates, it looks like this area of Santorini and what used to be called Thera, the larger bit, there's a couple small little islands, that it formed kind of like a place that had kind of like a crater or something in between it. And it was believed that Atlantean civilization, which seems to correlate when you talk about the advancedness of the civilization with what we've got in Minoan history in this region in a phenomenally advanced way. They didn't have fortresses, they didn't have hierarchy, they believed in balance and harmony. They became masters of the sea. And you can see even by the archaeology that they built beautiful structures, and their frescoes weren't of men warring, they were of dolphins and of nature. And even the homes that butted up against the sea, where later civilizations built walls, they had no walls. And I am here because I discovered that, this was back in 2005 probably, I discovered that as a spiritual leader of this Atlantean community, and we lived such a peaceful life, and we were filled with light and love and knowledge. There was a knowing, a wisdom that was part of our cellular makeup. I had to suffer the incredible tragedy of seeing my people killed before me. So not wiped out by a volcano or an earthquake, but killed before me. And it crushed my heart in a way that has influenced this life path for me in this lifetime as Kimberly. I didn't know it. It was revealed in a Rohan session. I would never have thought of it before, but it came up again when I did a DNA activation about 3 years ago now. And there was this belief that something within me needed to pay the price. Not from guilt, but just from love. To see those I cherished and loved, and how could they be killed right before my eyes, and I was powerless to do anything about it. And there was something within me that if they need to die, then how could I have ease and abundance in all its different forms. So I am here to complete a cycle of limiting belief that has threaded itself through the collective consciousness and my interconnection with things all the way into this lifetime. 4,000, 3,000 years later, 3,500 years later. Now, what's fascinating about the ruins, and I'm going to them tomorrow, is that there's no human remains, that the culture was so wise. Somehow they knew and they acted quickly, and they left the island before the volcano destroyed everything. They probably went to Crete. There's evidence that Crete lasted a bit longer. It was not conquered by the Mycenaeans until about 1430. But it was probably that I was here, I helped my people escape, and then when we were there in Crete was when the Mycenaeans, that were warriors and wanted to conquer from the mainland of Greece. And interestingly, the Minoans, our culture, had taught them so much. And there was harmony and trade in all the routes. And the Minoans pretty much dominated the routes because they were such experts at the sea, but they did so in a way that wasn't, this is ours and we have to protect it. Fighting didn't happen in the culture. But they did take up the sword as they were being attacked. And this happened from about the 1600s up to 1430, seems to be the final hurrah, if you will, where Crete was taken. And that was mainly because on Crete, there was a big earthquake that challenged the civilization. 30% of the people died and a lot was destroyed. But what did the Minoans do? They began to rebuild. So why do I tell you that story? I tell you that story because it gives an example to the mystery of interconnection. And it evokes and invites, maybe invites is a better word, us to look at things in broader ways. It can be so easy when we have, I'm going to point to challenges, but they could be blessings as well. Let's say we have a challenge with something relationally, personal, business, in society, in the country we live in, whatever it may be. that there are much more mysterious factors at play going on. Like Shakespeare said, we're all actors on the stage. And it invites us to look more broadly at what is going on a deeper level, so that we can ask ourselves in any relationship with anything outside of ourselves, what is my role here? What is my co-creative path of goodness here in the larger sense of that word? And I believe that in posing this kind of question, it allows us to be present to the manifold and untidy presence of mystery and the penetration of this mystery in a way that gives us knowing. Gives us knowing. And from knowing naturally arises sentiments from deep within of living compassion for ourselves and for all living beings. I'm going to draw in and apply one of Joe Dispenza's graphs that I used in 2 other meditation series. And his graphs will apply to everything, so I'll probably always bring them in. But he has a graph of showing 4 different states that we can be in as human beings. Somebody, which he says is the operation just on the individual level of somebody in the world acting from their identity. But when you move from somebody to nobody, you open up what? Into the field of potentiality or possibility. He said that's the gateway. And when you move into nobody, you experience yourself as everybody. And that's that unitive quality. But everybody can also leave us feeling ungrounded in relation to the world. And he sees the full circle coming about when we land in anybody, which means we're so free that we can be exactly who we're meant to be at any given moment. We can be anybody in full integrity because we've moved away from the identity into the nothingness, John of the Cross, into the union with all, John of the Cross, and then we become anybody, which is akin to the models that are out there about co-creating your reality and manifestation. We need to go through the whole process because then we are aligned on the soul level with a certain determination, not fate, not destiny, but a determination on a soul level that gives us clarity in what is aligned for us. And then we have the capacity to live in it. We become that specific anybody. And when that becomes complete, we can shift back again into the nobody. But if anybody goes to somebody, we've shifted away on the soul level. But we can always go again into the nobody, to everybody, back to anybody. Am I still that spiritual leader of that civilization? Not the entire civilization, but my community? In some way, yes, that's still very true. It's alive within me. I can feel it. And my path has stayed very aligned to it because I truly do not align with hierarchical modalities. Right order, divine order, temporary positioning for the sake of learning and growth, yes, but not ultimate power by way of hierarchy. My life gives witness to that, which means that I have stayed faithful to an insight that came to me, who knows how, 3,500 years ago, maybe 4,000 years ago. But I carried with it other limiting beliefs that were motivated by love but do not serve. And I say now is the time for those to be dissolved. So in this present moment, how can you open to the interconnectivity of your being beyond what you know yourself to be? You get fragrances of it. And maybe it won't show up as past life. Maybe it'll show up as being an angel at some point, or being some other entity at some point in your existence as a soul. Maybe it will just show up as the interconnectedness with other realms or other galaxies. There's no defining these things. But I invite you to ask that question: how can your presence in this very moment, in everything that's part of your reality, invite you in to connect to the deeper reality so that you can act from those places? All right, so today we're going to do one of my favorite mantras, Om Mani Padme Hum. We're going to do the recitation. This is going to be our one longer experience today, because this will take longer, and I've talked for much longer here. And I need to give a preface to Om Mani Padme Hum, because I have a deep connection with Avalokiteshvara, and that mantra, Om Mani Padme Hum, is highly connected with this entity that's considered an aspect of the Buddha nature, an aspect that is Bodhisattva in some traditions. And I was just recently at a Mahayana Buddhist monastery near Frederick, Maryland, before I flew here with a friend. It was a Vietnamese monastery, and the statues of Avalokiteshvara and all the statues of different holy ones. And I'm going to include a picture here and there. I've included one picture already, but I will include other pictures so that you can see some of the living prayers that were part of this monastic experience. So there's an interconnection for me with Avalokiteshvara as well, and it is highly Mary oriented. Do I understand the fullness of that mystery? No, I don't, but I don't need to. All right, so you're going to just join in the Om Mani Padme Hum as you're able to, and we're going to do it a little more quickly than I normally do. Monastic traditions oftentimes do mantras very quickly, and you get into a trance-like state with it. So we're going to do it very quickly. So I invite you to close your eyes. I'm going to close mine. Inviting in a breath and exhaling. Inviting in a breath and exhaling. Inviting in a breath. Om Mani Padme Hum. 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 And being in the wake of the deliciousness of that mantra, we sit in silence for a moment. And when you're ready, open the eyes and look downward. Notice how you and your surroundings have changed, if ever so slightly. And then lift your gaze to meet mine. Great to be with you.